Welcome to the Hamsey Analytics Daily Market Commentary. I'm Paulo Navarro. Today is Friday, April 13, 2012. For the markets, the S&P 500 futures saw a high of the day of 1380 and a low of the day of 1363.75. We closed at 1365. Today's volume was 1.9 million contracts, a little higher than the 20-day moving average of 1.7 million contracts. For the Nasdaq futures, we saw a high of the day of 27.28 and a low of the day of 26.91. We closed at 2693.5 with 290,000 contracts, a little higher than the 20-day moving average of 240,000 contracts. For the market internals, the New York Stock Exchange advanced decline differential closed at negative 1,574. The Nasdaq advanced decline differential closed at negative 1,348. There were 15 new 52-week highs for the S&P 500 and 4 new 52-week lows for the S&P 500. For the volatility, there were 545,000 contracts traded today, and the total premium was around $500,000. For the dollar-weighted put-call ratio in April, we saw a 0.41 reading with 30% of the total premiums paid. For May, we saw a 0.11 reading with 49% of the total premiums paid. And for June, we saw a 0.94 reading with 13% of the total premiums paid. Okay, here we have the daily chart for ES. As you can see here, we had a big down day today, down 21 handles or 1.5%. CI now pointing downwards again. CI dip continues to build momentum to the downside. For the moving averages, we broke the 50-day moving average here again. As you can see, the blue line. On the downside, I'm looking at the 1334 level to be some support there. And then resistance, maybe even go and test the highs, but we need to break those two moving averages, the 50-day and the 20-day. Above that, we're clear to test the highs of the year. For the weekly chart, on the Sigma channels, you could see here we broke the positive 2 Sigma channel for the weekly. This is the first time it happened in 2012. Still, this is not as important. We're watching the 0.6 line. That one is the one we need to hold to keep on going higher. So the 1320 level is our last support on the Sigma level. Again, for the CI, now we crossed where CI dip is pointing downwards and CI is red, which means cautions. Maybe we're turning to the downside to get a little correction here. Okay, here we have the weekly chart for gold futures. As you could see, we tested the 0.6 line. We could not break it and go above it. So now we're looking again at going to test the lows for the gold futures. As we talk a lot of the times, we're looking at the 1600 level on the weekly trend line that we've drawn. We need to take the lows we put on in April. That's not far from here. Today we had a very bad day for gold, down almost 1.5%. It's not positive. And again, it hit the resistance on the weekly chart that you could see in the last chart. For silver, that day again also for silver, we were down 3.2% today, almost finishing at the lows. We continue to watch the 31 level and the lows to be broken, and then we are going to watch the high 20 levels. Let's see what happened on the weekly chart for silver. Now we touched the same 0.6 line and could not break it to get above it. Now we're looking to go and test the high 20s, 29, 28 level. Those are the levels to watch on the downside for silver. Okay, here we have the weekly chart for the 30-year bond. You could see we had a good week. We closed at 41 and 20. We broke the 0.6. It's positive for the bonds to continue to go higher. We must take it into consideration how low the volatility for those Sigma channels is right now. As you can see here, it's very compressed. Here you can see on the Sigma channel with very low, very low. We want to get some higher volatility either to the upside or to the downside to break this range that we've been for the last couple of months, almost since September, trading very compressed. So we want to see a higher volatility on the bonds. On the VIX, today the VIX was 13.66% higher. Again, we took almost everything of yesterday's drop. We closed at 19.55 at exactly at the 0.6 for the weekly. Remember, we've never closed above the 0.6 on the weekly chart for 2012, or even from earlier around December. So this is a key level here on the close. We could not close above it. We'll see what happens Monday. Have a good weekend all. Take care.